How is everybody doing this Friday? My name is Peter Del Tondo. I am your host for the end of this Adobe XD Daily Creative Challenge. But don't worry, we'll be back. I think I'm back on September 18th or 28th, one of those two. And we'll be back with another segment. But somebody will be back with you next week, probably Andrea or Howard. Super exciting. And then we've got office hours next with Andrew and team. It's going to be great. So let's jump into some stuff and let's see who we got in chat today. We've got my pal Sarah, who I think I'm going to sneak a little something that I heard Sarah created today and see if we can work that into our project. We've also got Octavio, Laura, Sam. Thank you all for tuning in. We're going to have some fun today. We're going to do talk a little bit about content-aware layout and showcase some cool new features. This is one of the newer things added to Adobe XD in the last couple of releases. So this will be a super fun project. So don't worry, I know this is the last challenge in this series here, but if you have not participated in the previous 8, don't sweat it. This is going to be just a challenge for today. You can jump in and hopefully it'll take about 10-15 minutes of time to participate and work on this. So without further ado, let's jump on over here. If you've not yet signed up, or heck, you want to sign up next week after this challenge ends, go back to this link. You can go over to behance.net/challenge/XD. And over there, you can go ahead and click Take the Challenge. And what this will do is in your Creative Cloud account, it'll remind you every day that this is happening, this is going on, and come participate because it's a ton of fun. Jay Swanson, if you missed the last challenge, well, guess what? You're in luck. You can come back down here and click on all of the different challenges, go back and watch the video. You can catch the live stream and get the files for those. So if you missed a segment, don't worry about it. We'll be here and we can catch up. So really, really cool. So today, again, we're going to be talking about content-aware layout. We're going to design just a quick form. I think I'm going to change this up from like a survey experience to just a sign up. But the idea here is to be able to quickly test some things out and move some things around using content-aware layout. So really, really cool feature. The other thing I want to point out is to join us in the Discord chat. So come on over to this page and right here up at the top, click on Community Chat. That is going to take you over here to Discord. And this is where I think there's like 10,000 people or something, 15,000 people in this Discord server. It is an amazing community of designers. And you can come on over here and post your projects. I suggest you do a video, upload it to Behance, include a video. A lot of these challenges, kind of like today, you'll see, I can't tell if you understood the mechanics of the challenge by static flat images, but I'd love to see a video, move some things around that'll tell me that you understood it. I can help better critique if something went awry, and it'll be really helpful. So you can record automatically through XD in the prototype mode, or just record your computer screen, upload it in, and myself and some of the other mentors will give you feedback and reviews. And you'll see Tim Mobest, Elise, Chris Cannon's in here, Andrea, Howard will be in there giving feedback and helping everybody out. And yes, Jay Swanson, go back, check out a ton of those past segments. They're really cool. And I believe you can even go back and see like way back when segments from previous series. And you can always go over to the Adobe YouTube channel and watch stuff over there as well. Go catch any of my past segments or other instructors, and tons of stuff to learn. You all are so lucky that Adobe, and we live in a day and age where you get this kind of educational content for free. It's so cool. I wish I had this when I was a younger, not that old, but a younger designer. I would have loved this kind of stuff. So let's jump in and check this out. But real quick, update your stuff in the current challenge channel. Check out the other channels. There's lots of great stuff going on and lots of stuff to learn here. And if you need anything, just DM me, ask me a question on here. Be sure to help you out. I'm going to be doing some streams as well on my personal Behance page. So make sure you follow me at behance.net/Peter Del Tondo. And I'm going to go live, probably not tonight, but Saturday and Sunday, and probably Monday too, catching up on some of the past challenges and make sure that everybody gets feedback. So join me on there. I'll tag you too if I go over your project, and you can get some live feedback and come join me in chat and hang out for a couple hours. All right, so let's jump right into things. So in today's file, what you're going to see is we're going to create, again, a survey experience, or maybe it's more of a sign up. I think I'm going to do a sign up page. So just for my own OCD, design a sign up experience. I can spell, right? Design a sign up experience where users can input their information and click submit. So because we've been learning about XD, let's do maybe the ultimate guide to learning XD. And I want to say, I think I own the domain Adobe XD Masterclass. Maybe one day I'm going to do something with that. So let's check it out. So let's come down here. I'm just going to show some inspiration for things and what I'm looking for, like cool and interesting form fields. I picked this item here because I love how it's showing kind of from a design system standpoint. What does an active field look like? What does something that has not yet been activated? What are selection states? And same thing over here. And that's the kind of stuff that I look for in, different types of form input fields that you can play with. So check those things out, see what works well for your project and your design. You can also come down here and I'm going to use a couple of icons, possibly from Nucleo Icon. That's my favorite set. So there's a link in here, and we've got some plugins over here too. So let's jump in. I'm going to hit Artboard. I'm going to create a desktop icon, and real quick, I'm going to drag this in from a previous file. I'm going to grab my Learn XD tab, and actually let's make this whole thing a little bit less. Let's bring this in to like 1440. Okay, perfect. All right, so I've now got my artboard. I'm gonna move some of these items over. Cool. And just because we've been utilizing, I love that unfold watermelon pink. Although I should change this because it should be more on brand with Adobe XD. But for the moment, I'm gonna let it slide. It kind of works. So I'm gonna come over here and let's check this out. So I haven't used this yet, but my friend Sarah over at Clade built this really cool plugin called Blobular. And it allows you to create and put blobs into your design. So I haven't used, I legit have not used this. I found out about this plugin like an hour and a half ago. But I thought it'd be cool to play around with and maybe add some unique and interesting items in the background of this form. Because what I want to create, just so we can kind of see, I'm going to add a little bit of a background here, just so we can kind of see. I want this to be a little bit more interesting than just a little field. So it looks like I can do things with color. I can create levels of uniqueness. So this is cool. I'm going to keep it kind of about there in the middle. Complexity. I'm going to keep it less complex, something a little bit more simple. I dig that. Cool. And I'm going to assume I can change the color, but that's really cool. So I'm going to add, let's do something kind of in the purpley range. I like it. So it's going to create a blob. I can keep clicking this. And now I've got a couple of different blobs on my screen. It's fantastic. All right, so I'm going to add this in. We'll do something like this. Actually, let's move this one over here. And something like that. Cool, and I'm going to send all of these to the back. Range, send to back, and we'll make that there. And then maybe I can come in, I want to add like a little shadow on this. That could be cool. Let's do whatever this color is. I should really know that shadow color by, or that pink color by heart. I'm a little embarrassed. And all right, so now I've got a soft little shadow, and I'm going to come down. I'll just bring this. I might blur those out more later. But anyways, I've created some cool visual interest to my piece here. And let's come in and let's add an area where I want to have users sign up. All right, so I'm just going to create a zone now. Remove that border. Since we've got these kind of rounded blobs, let's maybe round this off a little bit more. So I've got this nice section and we're in business. So what I want to create now is I want to set it up where it's like, hey, what happens when we sign up? This is kind of like a sign up form, big CTA to learn about XD and take this course. So let's start laying out some text, and I've got the ultimate guide. Let's make this text color the same. Bring this in. Let's raise this up a little bit. Let's go like 20. I want to track this out a little bit. Okay, and now I want to be intentional, and I'll kind of explain why later, but I want to make sure I do things properly here in terms of my alignments. And that's going to be important based on the spacing of these items later. But let's go learn XD. And this one, I want to go bold. We'll raise this up quite a bit. Let's try like 56. Have this be a lot lighter too. Okay. Let's go even larger. Let's do like 72. Perfect. All right. And then let's see, I've got that centered as well. Let's do a little roll here. That pink color, let's go 2 pixels, and we'll center that up. And then let's see here, let's do some more text. Enter your email to receive or to enroll in this course. Awesome awaits. Okay, so we've got that now as well. Now I need to set up some input fields. So there's a couple different ways we could do this. I'm kind of liking keeping this a little bit simpler, but I want to create maybe a section like this. So let's do like 56. And I'm gonna put a border on this at the moment. This is kind of a weird way to design it, but it's gonna help me just visually at the moment. Okay, let's bring that down to maybe 2 pixels. Okay, I am gonna set this color to white, but I want it to leave it there. That way I've kind of got a container for my whole section. That just kind of helps me in terms of like visually how I want to separate things out, how I want to align text. So kind of a little hidden cheat or secret of that. Then I want to come in and I want to add some text to this. So I'll do something like first name. And this is where, going back to things, I want to align this text to the left. Let's go with kind of an off black color, and we'll go maybe a little bit larger. Let's go like 24. Have this be a bit bigger. Actually, no, I want this to be smaller because I want to do that push style again. So we'll do something like that. And I'm going to bring this over. Let's go 16. I'm going to bring this down until it's been filled out. Okay, so we've got something like this. That works well enough. I'm going to group these items together. And then over here, maybe I'll do email address. Just to be consistent, if you're going to use uppercase, lowercase, etc., just keep that all the same. All right, so I've got these now. I'm going to want to group that, center it up, ungroup those again. And then let's see, we can keep it pretty simple from here. Let's just create a button. And we'll have that be a little bit larger. We could go bigger if we wanted, but let's do pink. Grab this text. We'll go bold. We'll bump that up in size. And let's make that text white. Okay. And then let's see, we can round things off here again a little bit. So let's do maybe, I don't know if I want to go fully rounded, but maybe like an 8 or 4 pixels, kind of like 8. All right, let's do it. So again, this is too big. I can semi go off of my OCD-ness in these streams. I still like keeping things nice and clean and simple. So we can do a couple of items here. We've got this, we've got our fields. We can get into things like component states, and I'll touch base on that again if we need. But now what I want to do is I want to set up some kind of consistent spacing between everything. So what I can do is I'm going to group these objects. I'm going to group this. And now I can come in here and select padding. And you see how it's doing different padding alignments everywhere. I want it to be consistent. So actually, if I go back, see how it's kind of all over the place? And just to show what I'm talking about when I mention that is I'm referencing this space here. Let's make this like blue, purple, so everybody sees. I'm talking about the space around these objects. So I've got a space from here to here, here to here. That should be roughly the same. And then another space up top, and they're all different and whatnot. So I want to have that all be consistent. Did I do that right? Whoops. I'll delete these. So I want this to be consistent. So what I can do now is I can click on this padding and I can make this consistent. And now it's going to be even across the board. So all of these elements, as I have them spaced out, are going to be easily distributed across everything. And Joshua, I don't necessarily need to create or collect the last name. So I can just say first name, email address. It's a little bit of a quicker interaction, less likely to drop off from the user. And when we send out emails, it's typically done with only the first name. We don't usually say hi, and then there's like a shorthand code that will input the first name. It's not usually first name, last name. So while it is good to get that information, it's not necessarily required, so we can simplify some things a little bit. But maybe what I want to do is I want to play around with this. So I want to have either more or less space. So if I come in here and I say 40, that feels crowded. So you know what? I want to amp that up a little bit. Let's go maybe like 104. And now I feel like I have this nice airy section on my page, and I can space this all out, align everything. Really cool, really easy. Now, if I want to get into some more stuff, where maybe what I want to do is I want to move some objects around. I might come in here and say, you know what, I want to move Learn XD and all this stuff. I want to move it over to the side. And you could then play around with this, and you saw how what it did was it kept that spacing. It moved these objects. I don't think this looks good, but it's going to move those objects around for me. And so I can play around with what would that look like while keeping that consistent spacing and padding. So it's a really, really cool feature, especially when you're building out things like modals or form inputs. If you want to change around and modify some stuff, maybe I want to see what this would look like if, not that you would do this, but maybe I want to add some information down below. And so I'm going to come in here quickly and I'm going to leave some tagline of like, we will never sell your personal email information. And I can keep going, and like I can change these items to where I want this to be italic. I want the size of this to go down and make that really small. And as I move this up or down, you see how that is all changing with me. So this allows for a lot of customization between things as you build everything out. And now let's say I want to come in here and I want to make these input fields smaller or wider. I might look at this and say, hey, you know what? That's not enough room for this input field. I want to have this be a lot longer for a longer email, or I want this to be longer for a name, and I want to space these items out again. I can do that. I'm going to bring this back to center. And once again, it's going to keep everything consistently padded within this section. So it's a really, really cool way to kind of quickly and easily build this stuff kind of out. So let me know if there's a particular application. We've got a couple extra minutes. Let me know. I'll build something else out here. But otherwise, maybe some other ideas that we could do with this would be, let's build out like a mobile section. And in this, I want to create, maybe it's something like this. I'm gonna treat this like a wireframe. But I could come in here and say I want within 343, which is going to be my padding if I have 16 pixels on each side. I know that within here, I want to put a grid of items. And so I might come back in, and maybe this is something like creating a section for, or actually let's do that sign up form that we talked about. So maybe at the end of your class here for Learn XD, we want to do something where we want to ask questions about how did you enjoy the course? And so with this, maybe what I do is I come in, I'm going to grab both of these objects, and let's maybe do something smaller, but we'll still do like a 2F section. And it could be, or actually let's make these bigger. Let's do a different type of input field altogether. And as you see, as I keep editing and deleting objects in here, this whole thing keeps changing. So I might create a more traditional form field. So let's do this. Move these items down. And we could do something like this. How did you enjoy this course? And we'll add a little roundedness there. We could do something like this. I loved it. I can't wait to tune in again. All right, and so we've got this because it's filled in text. We want that to be a little bit larger. I'm going to move this all up as I kind of build this out. I'll rotate, there we go. And then I can just duplicate this. So if I want to come in here, I'm going to grab that object, this one. I'm going to create another form field. Oops, and this is where I want that stuff to be consistent because I want these to snap correctly as I move things. So would you recommend this course to a friend? And I'm going to say absolutely. Andrew Hockrattle should do a design in the dark for Adobe XD so he can learn to use it better. Going to will it into the world, Andrew. So we're going to do a design in the dark at some point. And yeah, Andrew should learn this, right, guys? He should learn Adobe XD. It's super fun. Maybe our next series in September, we're going to figure out a way to combine the Illustrator DCCs with the XD DCCs. That would be really cool. So he and I are working on that, actually. We're going to see if we can pull that off. And then once again, I'm going to grab this information and maybe I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to snap these items to the left and I'm going to say submit. Just change that button size. And let's delete that bit of information. I don't even need that layer. All right, perfect. So I now have this. Again, I can come in, I can change this. And if I wanted to, let's try bringing this stuff in. Well, that resized everything, that's okay. And maybe what I want to do is I want to have, for some reason, I want these objects off to the right. I want to align that. And then I can quickly come up here and bring this up. and we could do it this way. So hopefully that shows you all how content aware layout works, how we can move stuff around easily on the page. And it's just a great way to kind of prototype stuff out, test different things very quickly, very easily. And I hope you guys enjoyed. I had a lot of fun with everybody this week. Please do join me on the after hours or after evening streams on my personal page, and I'll be going through and giving you feedback and reviews on your DCC challenges. And make sure you stick around for Andrew and Nick for office hours. It's a super fun segment, and hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll chat with you soon.